All right, day 10. Day 10 of a 30-day challenge to become more natural on film. My name is Jacob Tyler Norman, and the topic for today, or for this video, is procrastination. And I am a king procrastinator. Seeing as we all get the same 24 hours, I thought maybe I should do some calculations and see kind of where our time goes. So I did this on like what I would thought like an average work week would be for an average person. And so like the average person works 40 hours a week, right? I did the math prior to the video, so there's that. So I'm not pulling these numbers out of my head. I'm not that good at math. But yeah, so the average person gets 40 like works a 40-hour work week. I work less than that. I might, like at most I might work 30 hours, but the average person gets a 40-hour work week, and if you get 8 hours of sleep every night, that is 56 hours of sleep. I have notes. And then I also wrote down like maybe 3 hours a day you spend commuting to and from your job, or just like that's your time that you brush your teeth, shower, get ready for the day, like time that just kind of goes to waste, that's 21 hours a week. So there's 40 hours for your work week, 56 hours sleeping if you sleep 8 hours a night, and then 21 hours a week if that's 3 hours a day, like in travel time for to and from work, or brushing your teeth, or all the stuff that you really don't have, just things you have to do that kind of go to waste. But that's still left a lot of time, because if you add up the 56, the 40, and the 21 hours in a week that just are kind of out of your control, that you have to give away to someone else so that you can survive and get some sleep in, then that total is 117. That's 117 hours of time spent working, sleeping, and traveling to and from work. So how many hours do we have in a week? I googled it. We have 168 hours in a week. So 168 hours in a week, you minus the 117 hours that is spent sleeping and working and traveling to your job. On average, I mean, this is going to vary from person to person. Some people sleep less, some people sleep more, some people work more, some people work less. But on average, it's 117 hours spent doing these activities, and you have 168 hours. So that leaves you with 51 hours a week of your own time. So then I took that 51 hours and I divided it by 7 to figure out how much time you have left, and it was like 7 hours a day that you still have of you time. Well, it was like 7.28, but I don't know how that relates to time, so 7 hours. And in those 7 hours, what do you do? And then I thought, well, okay, but a lot of people have responsibilities. They have family or kids or friends. So I was like, even if you give half of that time to your social life or your friends, family, all that, you still have 3.5 hours that are just you time. And that made me start to think, like, what do I do with my 3 hours? I mean, I have more time than that. That's kind of what I want to talk about, because doing the math and realizing that the average person works more than I do, and probably has to spend more time in traffic. I don't drive, so I avoid that problem for the most part. And it's even so, you have 3 hours a day, well, 3.5 hours a day of just you time. And then I thought, like, what if so 3 hours a day for over a year is 1,277 hours, which is just under 2 months of, it's like 53 days that if you know, collectively, that you have of just you time. And why not spend that 3 or 4 hours a day learning a new skill, or, you know, maybe making some skills that you already have better, or learning, or like, why not spend that time doing something better? So I think after doing the math, what I want to do is spend at least 3 hours a day on working on a project. And a lot of the time it's going to be this. I have other things I work on. I work on a blog with my friend, with my buddy. Logan at Go Hero Mode is his Instagram handle, if you want to. He's got some good stuff. If you're into physique and aesthetic bodybuilding, he's next level. But so I think after crunching the numbers, what I want to do is spend at least 3 or 4 hours a day and working on a passion project. And that will either be the YouTube channel or on the blog. And so I think that's how I'm going to handle the productivity side of this productivity procrastination coin. But that means that, okay, so I have my basic allotment of time that I have for productivity. How am I going to fight the procrastination? And I said this in a prior video. I think doing things, I mean, you've probably heard this before, but doing things first thing in the morning. Like, I woke up today, I drank coffee, I took a shower, brushed my teeth, all that stuff. And then I started writing out my idea for this video, and I'm filming, and it's great because I'm like, oh boy, I'm already done with the thing I had to do today. While as yesterday I made a video and I put it off till like 7 o'clock at night. Oh, it was bad. It was bad news bears. Another thing with procrastination specifically is give yourself less time to do things. I remember, like I said, I work on this Go Hero Mode blog with my buddy Logan, and he kind of gave me the task of making these little PDFs that we could, you know, give out to people, so that they could just, you know, just these little free giveaways that people could be like, oh, if I want, you know, a bigger chest, here's a isolation workout program specific to chest or to biceps or to legs or triceps or shoulders or whatever, you know. So he wrote them out, and he's just like, make them less boring. And so I set the goal of doing just one a week. I thought, like, if I do one a week, you know, in a little over 2 months, no, in less than 2 months, they'll be done. And, excuse me. And and then I started procrastinating, and cause I told him, my buddy Logan, like, hey, I'm gonna get one done every week. And he said, cool, whatever, just do it. And I was like, sweet. And it was, so I 7 days to do, you know, to do one PDF, make it pretty. And I knew how, kind of, I was learning. But I would literally put it off 6 days out of the week. And on days off, I had free time. I would just do anything. Like, anything seemed more important. Like, you know, how many times can you clip your toenails? It made me more productive in other areas too. I'm like, I'm gonna clean my entire apartment, or I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Like, because I had this deadline and it was further out, I just made sure that I had everything else to do. Like I would watch, hours and hours of YouTube videos. I would just waste so much time. And it kind of like put me in a weird headspace where I was like, man, why am I self-destructive? Why don't I just do it? And eventually I kind of just got so mad at myself that I just like was like, I'm just gonna sit down. I had a day off and I woke up super early. I woke up at like 5 o'clock, and I was just like, I'm gonna work on this all day and I'm gonna do as many as I can. And what with procrastination would take me a week, and sometimes even on that week I'd be like, yeah, it's done, and it would be like kind of done but not really, until I got so fed up and like just mad at myself for self-sabotage that I said, I'm gonna do as much as I can throughout this day. And so when one project used to take me a week, when I really just sat down and made myself do it, by the end of that day, I had finished 3 or 4 of them. And of course, like I had gotten better at the software over time and I learned what I was doing, so it was easier, but I was more afraid of the act of doing it than then the project was difficult. It wasn't actually hard to do. It was just that I was so afraid of sitting down and going to work. I don't even know if afraid, I must be afraid, because the only reason you avoid something is if you're afraid of it, right? But it's another thing that I noticed with this video project is like, once you get into something, you hit this, like, it's like flow, right? You just start flowing, like you start talking, and as soon as like I was like, I need to talk, and the first 10 minutes of every video was very like hard, but if I just kept talking, it would become easier. And so I think just sitting down and doing it and having the faith that I just gotta do this for 10, 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, but if you just sit down and do the thing, eventually you'll fall into flow. And I think if you do that, you kind of, know it. So like now I know to get myself out of any funk, because the thing that puts me in a funk is when I'm not doing anything. If I'm just kind of laying in bed, or playing games all day, or just being kind of lazy, I get down on myself. But I know if I just start with a little thing, like cleaning my room, or just get in motion. The same thing with going to the gym. I was like, I love being at the gym and working out. I hate going to the gym, which seems paradoxical. I think that's a word. But once you get there, it's great. You're working out, you feel good. But it's the whole idea of like, do I want to work out today? Like, I'm doing okay. So it's screw it, just do it is my new mantra, I guess, because I know that if I do it long enough, consistently, that I fall into flow and it just becomes easy. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for listening to me. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell. Check out my blog, goheromode.com. I mean, it's not my blog, it's our blog. Anyways, thank you for watching. I love y'all. I'll see you next time for day 11.